Kian Shah back in the paddock alongside Wadapong Yamchan on the fourth row of the grid for this one. Then Didi Tse alongside Tsutomu Nishimura. That'll be a fantastic combination. They head out onto the circuit then for 2 formation laps. Every category gets 2 formation laps to warm up the tyres and brakes. Not that they need massive amount of warming up, of course, because the circuit, with its high temperatures, will probably do that for them. So the drivers venture out. The grid in full for this first heat. Andrea Galimberti in pole position alongside Aaron Garcia. The two of them will be working very hard together to pull away from the rest of the field. Third place for Leonardo Mori, fourth place for Toby Gale. It'll be fascinating to see how they go. Fifth position for Panushtin Monkong along with Nathan Arya, P6. Seventh on the grid for Kian Shah alongside Wadapong Yamchan. And then Didi Tse beside Tsutomu Nishimura. Tanafat Borakat Superchok is beside Danish Chen, who will be really struggling from P12 on the grid. Then One Love Ratanarjan. And then it is Kantapat Nanin Sukatsanti, Johanatan Mosh and Thomas George from Zachary Boyce and Pakin Jananukul. And then it is Aidan Forbes and Shamoshwan in P20. So with everybody getting themselves into position, it'll be a very tricky race, this one. The first race of the weekend, and obviously an important forebearer for what can come in tomorrow's final. But all the drivers know exactly what's at stake. They're going to be putting themselves under great duress. And I have to say, fair play to all the officials and all of the people running the championship behind the scenes. We've only lost 10 minutes in that transition, so very good indeed to keep the timetable flowing. But great work from everybody at IAME Series Asia, at RAAT, and fantastic work so far this weekend. So the 2 tram lines, 20 carts in this race, there'll be 20 in the other, of course, as well. But it'll be fascinating to see how the Senior X30 drivers align. There are only 36 places in the final, so there's only going to be 3 or 4 drivers out of the weekend by the time we get to the final. So it's quite important that the drivers put on a good show all weekend. DNFs are not to be tolerated. You've got to keep a very decent and positive outlook all the way through. Martin, being the race director, very adamant they cannot accelerate until they get to the yellow line out of the final turn. So we'll see how Galimberti and Garcia handle the situation. Are we going to race? Yes, we are. And off we go. Good start from Galimberti. Garcia going to try and come in on the far side, but there's going to be masses of difficulty keeping the cart on the far side in these immense marbles on the outside of turn 1. Garcia trying to get round the outside of Galimberti while also fending off from Leonardo Mori. Down the inside comes Gale. He's going to try and get into third past Mori. He can't make it. So the top 4 remain as they started. Galimberti, Garcia, Mori and Gale. Gale is going to try and dive to the inside line of the hairpin. Mori's going to go long and he nearly hits the back of Garcia's car. He has to bail out of the apex and that gives Gale third position. Big mistake from Mori trying to keep in touch with Toby Gale. Gale gets third position as a result and through into fourth position. That looks like one of the Tony Carters. Garcia's going to get the run. Oh, there's a problem with the chain guard. Galimberti's got a loose chain guard. I can't believe it. Galimberti's got a problem with his car. And that chain guard is loose. That's going to be a mechanical flag for Andrea Galimberti in the first lap of the weekend. He notices it. He's going to try and adjust it while racing, but he surely can't make that work. Andrea Galimberti, that is a devastating way for his weekend to start. Fastest in qualifying, and a loose chain guard is surely going to come back to bite him. So Galimberti close in behind Garcia. Garcia is your leader. Third place behind Galimberti is Toby Gale. Then in fourth place, that is Pano Stinmankong. So Stinmankong doing a good job to keep up with these 3, taking advantage of the situation given to him early doors by Leonardo Mori running wide. Mori, by the way, has dropped down to 7th position now. He's behind Kian Shah and Wadapong Yamchan. So big problems early doors, and you can see that Andrea Galimberti is going to get the technical flag here. That is flapping in the breeze, not what he needs at all. We're just awaiting official confirmation, but the meatball flag, or the technical flag as it should really be known, is surely going to come out for the man in second place, who's now really defending from Toby Gale. Toby Gale's going to try and make his move on the Italian. Toby Gale will try the inside line. Galimberti's going to go long, but with damage to his car, surely he is not going to be able to sustain his second place. What that's going to give Aaron Garcia in terms of advantage could be gargantuan. Gale and Stinmankong are going to have to work together here to close up on Garcia. And there is the confirmation on the straight, the start-finish line. We're going to see it. The 2-4-3 is going to be given the mechanical flag. Andrea is being after. It's unfortunately over. Disaster for Andrea Galimberti in the first race of the weekend. Pole position in qualifying, and it's all gone wrong with a loose chain guard on the first lap of the first race. Surely Galimberti will peel off this time. No, he carries on. Well, Galimberti drives past the pits. Maybe he hasn't quite got used to the fact that he's number 2-4-3 yet, but he's still trying to go after Aaron Garcia. But of course, if you ignore the meatball flag, then you are going to be in serious trouble. He's got 3 chances. He's only seen it the first time. Still battling right behind Garcia, and they're going to show it to him again. And I think Andrea Galimberti now realizes he's got to face the music. There is the confirmation, second time of being shown it. Galimberti is going to try and get the move on Garcia to at least show what he could have done, but he's going to be out of the race through the S's at the end of the Mickey Mouse. And if he's smart, he's going to peel off into the pits on this next right-hander. He'll come straight through. He carries on. Oh, second time of asking. Andrea Galimberti ignoring the meatball flag for 2 separate occasions. You can't do that. And so once more, he's going to be shown it, but it's no longer a meatball flag. It is now a black flag. He has ignored it on several occasions. And so now, 2:43, Andrea Galimberti is shown the black flag. Well, he's still battling away with Aaron Garcia. Toby Gale in third from Steenmankong, Shah, Mori, Yamchan, Arya and Nishimura. But there's a point to prove here for Andrea Galimberti. He wants to show that he is still the man on form. He's going to drift out right. Garcia is shaking his fist at Galimberti. You've been shown the black flag, mate. You shouldn't be racing me. And Galimberti carries on. This is fascinating. He is going to get a big ticking off here from the officials. It's one thing to accept your fate, but to keep racing when you know you've been signalled. Garcia is desperate to get Galimberti off his back. Look, I know for a fact you've been signalled. I saw it, so there's no reason you didn't. They come through again, and look, he keeps his hand in the air as if to say, look, this man's all over me, and he's been shown the black flag. Crazy scenes here as Garcia again looks. Look, he puts his hand in the air, lets Galimberti go in front, but he puts his hand in the air. Look, you've been given the black flag, my friend. So Galimberti takes the lead. Garcia's right behind him. And so Galimberti now backs up the pack. What's he doing? He stays out longer. Oh my goodness, the youngest man in the field, the reigning junior champion, having been shown the black flag on 2 consecutive laps. Not his fault, he's got it. It's a loose chain guard, but it's absolutely his fault. It's gone from being a technical flag to a black flag. And he's going to be shown it for the 3rd consecutive lap, this time in the lead. Look, you have got the black flag. And Galimberti drives on. Garcia second. Gale is third. Steenmankong is fourth from Shah, Mori, Yamchan, Arya, Nishimura and Danish Chen. And now Garcia's got company. Here comes Toby Gale. He's not going to accept this. Gale is right on the tail of Garcia, and Garcia doesn't want to lose a potential victory here as finally Galimberti yields. Finally lane, and he accepts his fate far too late. And the first person who's going to be on the scene is race director Martin Bean. He will not take comfortably to that at all. So, back to the race. Adam Garcia leads the way in front of Toby Gale, but Gale is pushing on the Birilat Asia, and it's going to be a 2-horse race again, this time between Garcia and Gale. 3rd place for Steenmankong. 4th position, chasing them down is Kian Shah, then Leonardo Mori from Warpung Yamchan, Nathan Arya, Sutama Nishimura, Danish Chen, and Tanafat Warakut Supachok. So Gale right in behind, trying to make his bid here on Aaron Garcia. Garcia working hard here to try and get away from Toby Gale. This is a Kart Republic specialist versus a Bera specialist. This is a really amazing battle between these two. Aaron Garcia, one of the toasts of Europe, going head to head with the King of Thailand, Toby Gale, pushing hard here. And an amazing duel. Garcia really trying to step up a qualifying lap here to get a little bit of distance between himself and Toby Gale. And what about the man in third position, Banu Stinmankong, doing a great job in third. Going well. There is the battle for fourth. This is Shah versus Mori. So Kian Shah on the Birolart. Still under big pressure here. Run by RL Karting, of course. And bringing up the rear behind him is Leonardo Mori, trying to get back into the battle for the top three. He'll be feeling sick to his stomach that he had to yield the corner on the first lap by missing his braking point, almost going into the back of Toby Gale. Almost going into the back of Aaron Garcia, I should say. Sixth place for Wadapong Yamchan, one of his best results for the season so far if he gets it there. Seventh place for Nathan Arya, then Sutomo Nishimura, Danish Chen and Didit Sir. Good work from Didit Sir to get back up into the top 10 on the top one machine. And there's big battles going on behind her. Oh, there was a couple of curb hoppers in the battle for 11th position further back. That was Tanafa Burger Superchop, along with Wanlop Ryanakan, I think. Yeah, Wanlop Ratanajan, I should say. So Gale again steps up the attack to go after Garcia. Not much change between 3, 4 and 5 at the moment. But still, they duel for position. 13 laps in the heats, of course, in Senior X30, so it's a long old race, even in the heats. But the overcast conditions have definitely given the tyres a little bit of respite in this one. Fascinating situation for everybody as the competitors keep putting on a great show. But Garcia leads from Gale. Third position for the hard-charging Siton Monkong. Still going strong here. Stinmankong, third position. Banu Stinmankong for Watt Motorsports on the Tony car. Going well as he holds position. But he manages to have a little look over his shoulder because he knows that Kian Shah and Leonardo Mori are right there. So it's going to be a very tough mission for them to keep the battle flowing. Still they work in close proximity. End of the lap, and Gale is doing everything he can to stick like glue to Garcia, but Garcia does have the legs at the moment on the Kart Republic. They're going to need to make some adjustments, I think, to the setup of the Birolart just to keep it favourable with the Kart Republic in the latter stages. Mind you, we don't know how much was done in the early battle trying to work his way into that second position in the first place. And of course, Galimberti staying out as long as he did might have caused a little bit of an issue for both drivers with looking after their tyres. So into the final lap we go then, 12 laps completed. This is the 13th and final tour. And so Aaron Garcia holds the advantage to Toby Gale early doors. Banu Stinmankong going great guns in third place in front of Kian Shah and Leonardo Mori. Good start to proceedings, that's for sure. And so it's a really steady start to the proceedings. Excellent effort and brilliant work so far. So Garcia really had to work hard to keep Toby Gale honest when he was on his tail. He's been able to extend a little bit of an advantage, and as they come out of the final hairpin, that will get the job done and keep it rosy, as there is the checkered flag. Aaron Garcia holds on from Toby Gale, Stinmankong, Shah and Mori. Yamchan opens his account with P6 in front of Nathan Arya. Sutomo Nishimura, P8, the oldest man in the field, aged 55. Danish Chen in 9th, Didit Sir, 10th on her return. So a very strong start to the weekend then for Aaron Garcia. Toby Gale banking in a decent top 3 finish, and fair play to Banu Stinmankong, who really put on a good display there in third position. But I've got a feeling there's going to be some high tension after that race, after the difficulties for Andrea Galimberti, but certainly for Aaron Garcia. The tension evaporated as soon as he peeled into the pits, and so it becomes an Aaron Garcia showdown.